Microphone check. Oh, what did I change and not realize? Think it's all good to go again. Think it's a stream, my friend. Is this microphone close enough? Why does it seem like it's off from what it was 2 hours ago when I did a stream? Check 1, 2. All right, that's how loud I normally am. That makes sense. Hope this is enough juice to get through. My phone is making noises, I don't know why. I don't know why. Stop making those noises, phone. Feels like you're some kind of phone spy. Alright. Pen, got my pen. Oh boy. Do 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 do. I was sitting in the place reading a newspaper, and then someone came into the place, and I was, hey, you can't sit here, 'cause I've already taken this spot, and something else to do, and then you go do 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 do. Meow 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 meow. Yeah, I think we're basically ready to go. I mean, no one's here to watch the show. What day is it? It is Tuesday, right? Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll just start anyway. Feels weird. Sometimes it feels weird. Start before anybody shows up. But I do it anyway. What is this? What is this? Get back. There we go. Maybe I'll just wait a minute, see if anyone appears. And if not, I'll just start drawing. I'm thinking of all my artsy fears. Do 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 do. I accidentally clicked away. Alright, no, that was me. Okay, phone. Freak out. Don't freak out, phone. It was just me. 4 minutes? Alright. Guess we'll just start. I can't sit here waiting all day. Where's the intro? Replay. Play the intro. Let's start drawing some pictures. Hello, here we go again. Ugh, I'm all discombobulated from doing another live stream for 4 hours at work. I figure, hey, might as well go do another one. Because a lot of people on that stream were like, what? I'm going to go watch your stream too. And I'm like, that's a lie. You're not going to be there. And I've been proven right. So anyway, as per usual, we're going to work on some more Milo book stuff. I didn't take the time over the weekend to rough out more pages of the book, so we're just going to keep making more Milo variations for the non-story parts of this book. and eventually, I'll get myself back in gear and do some of the proper pages, and we'll do the cleanup and color and whatnot here. But until then, yeah, just putting Milo in costumes and drawing him in different weird ways. You know, because we're kind of making fun of NFTs, and that's what this book is all about. Hey, Miles. And it's been a while since I opened this file. There we go. I can't remember what anything is. But yeah, just did a little streamathon over on the Streamlabs channel for the whole afternoon, just making as many emotes as possible for people that requested them on Twitter. And I still have the file open. So one person wanted a cat in a cowboy hat that they were going to call Meowdy. So there's a cat going Meowdy, y'all. And somebody wanted a dragon with like a black belt around its head. I'm not sure if they meant like just an actual just belt around its forehead, or if they're going for something martial artsy. So I tried to do something somewhat Cobra Kai-ish. And what else did I do? This is supposed to be some sort of banana smoothie. I don't know. Somewhat based on the banana smoothie that they had as their profile picture. But slightly different because halfway through this was when I realized, oh, theirs is just a modified plankton that they turned into or Slurpee, I should say. Banana Slurpee was their name. And somebody wanted a lavender bunny. Not sure. I think this might be a little more pink than lavender, but whatever. Close enough. And a bullhorn. Somebody just wanted a bullhorn. This didn't take too long at all. Just drew a quick bullhorn. An angry cookie somebody wanted. So there's a cookie being real angry and freaked out. I think that's the best one that I did all day. And then the first one was a crab with sunglasses and glow sticks. So I drew somebody a party crab. And that was my afternoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 random emote designs in 4 hours. I think that's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I roughed them out, shaded them. It was a lot of work. I think that was a decent amount of work. And that's what I did at my job for the afternoon, and did other stuff during the morning. And so now, I should have thought of some ideas. But I basically, I don't know, finished streaming, ate something real quick, plugged everything back in, realized some of my own settings are now messed up, fixed those, and then hit stream. So we're just going to go to this layer here, and something blue, and slightly bigger brush. And then I'll think of something. I feel like I definitely had some kind of stories that I've forgotten already, but definitely some stuff happened throughout the week that I absolutely cannot remember. I was somewhere and somebody yelled or said something weird, and I can't remember. Did I mention? I don't think I did. So, because I talked about getting a Switch. I talked an awful lot about getting the Nintendo Switch, and I'm not sure if this happened between then and now, or if it was that same time. But I was at the pawn shop 2 streets over. Oh no, it was a different day. Because it was like, I already brought my games over. Then it was like, all right, time to bring the Wii U itself over and trade that for something, or just trade it for cash or whatever, and then use that cash to go buy some video games. And while I was waiting to talk to the guy, because I was like, oh, they usually have this like microphone there, and I'm like, this stuff's probably enough that I could trade and get that microphone without paying for it. but they didn't have any of those microphones left, so I was like, ugh, I don't really care, I guess. I don't need another microphone. I have plenty of microphones scattered throughout my apartment. But I do a big crazy mustache yet? Just draw with a black line. So while I was waiting to ask the dude, do you have any of those microphones? You know, do you still have it? There's always seems to be one floating around. Can you take a look, kind of thing? But I had to wait what felt like forever while this guy, whatever he was doing, trying to trade something in, I guess, or asking about something. But by the time I got over to the counter to where this guy was spieling his spiel, he wasn't talking about whatever their, the audio video needs or the audio needs he was talking about was no longer the topic of conversation. Because pretty much like, all right, well, I'm gonna go then. Like, thanks for all your help, blah blah blah. And the guy's like, yep, no problem, anytime. I don't like this mustache. And he was like something about like whatever, like blah blah blah, like you gotta prepare for the new currency or whatever. No, the new monetary system is what he said. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm just gonna stand a few feet away and I'm going to listen to what this guy thinks the new monetary system is, because I guarantee it's not what any of the new monetary systems are. I mean, in theory, the only thing he could be talking about is cryptocurrency and or NFTs. And he was like, yeah, the new monetary system. And then did that old man thing, that old men do in public when they're like, you know about that, right? You know about that? And then you react with like, no, I don't. And then they're like, ah, pounce. Let me tell you about the things. Hey, Voxney. Dude was like just in full old man mode slash definitely I'm on my way to go drink in the early afternoon, or man, I've been drinking all week and this is what I'm like. So it was just like, you know about the new monetary system, and the guy behind the counter just unaware of what was about to happen, said, "Oh yeah, I guess, like kind of like you're obviously you're talking about like cryptocurrency, right?" And the old man was like, "Oh, like no, like clearly has no idea what cryptocurrency is." So it's just like, "Oh wow." So whatever his answer is going to be spectacular, and I'm not even sure what it was. Because what he described sound to me like the old monetary system. Because basically, like they have a bunch of jewelry and stuff there. So I think his deal was, like, well, I'm gonna start, I gotta start, gold and silver. Like that's it. Like soon, like you see what the Russians are doing with oil. Well, that's what's gonna happen with everything else. So of course, like you're gonna have to start trading gold and silver. So you're gonna want to collect some of that out, because that's what the new monetary system's going. You just watch. Like the next few weeks, few months, like the new monetary system. It's gonna be gold and silver. Like it, I'm pretty sure that's already a monetary system that is technically getting less and less valuable as gold and silver has less and less value in our society. But whatever. So I'm still waiting, and I'm like, all right, well, that's all you have to say about that, right? And he just kept talking, and it was just like, I wanted it to be so much more spectacular and interesting than it was, but it was just that, man who drinks too much way of saying things. He says as he stumbles over his own words, of just that I have no other points to make. I mean, I'm sure he probably wanted to be up in the whatever's going on now, the motorcycle rally, to get more freedoms in Canada or whatever. Like Like there's no more mandates. Like I don't know what you're talking about anymore, other than yes, these politicians do need to shake their head and start doing things more correctly, but the things that you guys are asking for are still wrong. Um, Square Enix just sold Crystal Dynamics and Adios and all their IPs for 300 million that they're planning to use in blockchain. Ugh, yeah, it's just insane. It's just insane, and it's not even that. Like the monetary system is insane in and of itself. Like the world is crazy, but there are certain things where it's just like like the bank is already a problem. Like the bank is already weird. I still personally I want to need to have to watch a video. I noticed something came up with it was just like the truth about or what you need to know about tax-free savings accounts. And part of me is just like I think I already know because I went to the bank and the lady was like, "Hey, like what's all this money? Just do it in this savings account. Like that's not doing anything for you." I'm like, "Yeah, well it's there being saved. It makes like whatever 2 cents worth of interest a year." And she's like, well, if you put it into your tax-free savings account, it's gonna make more money. Blah, 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 blah. Like, all right, cool. And then when I asked about like, hey, so what's the deal with when I, if I do want to buy, like, say, put a down payment on a house or do something substantial, this should be a thicker brush. And it's just basically like, oh, well then, that will all count as new income, so you'll have to pay taxes on that money. So it's just like, but you're gonna make me pay taxes on all of my money that I already own. Then like this is insane, and it feels like some kind of weird scam. I'm not exactly sure if I have that right or not. So yeah, I have to do some research and make sure that I should just go like, hey, by the way, this is a waste of my time because as near as I can tell, the amount of money I make on my tax-free account with it being invested or whatever is still the same amount I make on regular interest in a savings account. So everything is still a scam. Um, but even more so in like the crypto world, especially NFTs and whatever, it's still technically like Disney dollars. Like the people who own it are still automatically like super rich people because they've created it, they've decided the value, and they're selling it off and driving up the prices. Therefore, it's not fair. Like everybody's like, oh, well, this way it's not super regulated by the banks or the government, blah blah blah. Like, well, once it has value, it will and does. A lot of people are, I believe, starting to get dinged for having to pay taxes on their $8,000 NFTs and whatever. So it's like you can't sit there and say like, well, I have this much value for this thing, but then at the same time be like, but it's actually nothing, so I don't have to pay taxes on it. So it's like, is it worth something or is it not? And meanwhile, it is worth something to the people that are selling you on it, because you can't just like work for cryptocurrency and get paid for it. You gotta buy into all that stuff, and then who are you buying it from? People who made it up. It's all weird. Our whole monetary system is just weird in and of itself. So anyway, yeah, that guy was all like, blah, blah. And guy behind the counter was fully just like trying to like, all right then, well, thanks for letting me know. The old like, then that's the end of that conversation. Feel free to move on, guy. And he just kept talking, and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to be here all day. And you're not entertaining me with your nonsense, so get out of here, guy. But I don't know. I thought it was somewhat interesting, delightful to watch somebody just be weird. I don't know. Basically, yeah, the image in my head is kind of Tom Selleck. I've already done like kind of a cowboy hat thing, but I just don't know. Just thought I'd basically just put some hair on him of some kind. I just didn't really think it through. I've been already drawing too much today, and I'm just out of ideas. See if this wig makes him look like one of the Beatles. Simpsons ref. Some big silly sideburns. No. And some kind of helmet? Some kind of 70s sportsman? Sports in the 70s. That's the only problem with these things is I do occasionally just think too hard about them when they're just supposed to be silly fun time ideas. Only given them these eyebrows before, but that's fine. I don't care. Kind of evil Knievelly. It used to be so much fun to turn Tom Selleck, turn Milo into Tom Selleck. And then Tom Selleck had to go and ruin Tom Selleck. It was like so cool, you know, Magnum PI. So long. He's all like, hey, Rosie O'Donnell, you're stupid, and I'm Tom Selleck. And just like, whoa, how dare you? How dare you use that mustache for evil? It is the good mustache, though. It's really hard. I mean, oh yeah, the reverse mortgage thing. I forgot that's the other reason that people hate him. But these tricking old people into giving up all their money for yet another weird banking scheme. Don't even know what a reverse mortgage is still, but it definitely sounds super shady. Like a true reverse mortgage, I would assume is, hey, give me a pile of money, like a mortgage amount of money, because that's a lot of money. And that's the reverse. I mean, who's going to disagree with that? I mean, I don't. Like, yeah, a reverse mortgage to me would be you're going to pay me tons of money to live in a house, because a mortgage is me paying tons of money to live in a house. Therefore, the reverse shouldn't be me still ending up losing my money. But whatever. Celebrities. I'm still angry, like genuinely irritated by the new Uber Eats commercials. I don't even know if there is an Uber Eats around here, if that's a thing. I don't believe it is, but oh my god, I don't know if it's the fact that it's like, you know, pretty big celebrities, or because it's like Trevor Noah, where I'm like, oh, Trevor Noah, don't. you're a good person. Don't do commercials, please. I have to assume that your show pays you well enough that you don't have to do this. Even if you do love Uber Eats, like maybe you are just a big endorser of it. But up here you can't see it anyway. But ugh, especially when it shows more than one person, where it's just like, oh, can I eat this? It comes from Uber Eats. I was like, oh, just shut up, just shut up. Like, it technically is a clever way to say that we don't just deliver food, we deliver everything. But I kind of would have rathered if they just changed the name to Uber Everything or something. Like, I don't know. Uber your stuff. Um but just these people eating things is frustrating and disgusting. I just every time uh um Stifler's mom, I used to have her name fully poured into my head. Um ooh, I really want to remember it. But anyway, when she's eating the lipstick that came, that like ugh, just hard to watch, even more so hard to listen to. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. But we can still Uber some stuff over here, though, right? Like if we need it, we could just have it Ubered over, and that's okay, even in spite of the commercials. No, no, we don't have access to it, and no, if we need something, we'll physically walk across the street and go get it. Everything is relatively close. Ugh, a bit of cape here. Yeah, it was. I'm gonna say funny. I'm gonna say funny instead of sad and debilitating. But during my Streamlabs stream today, somebody took the time to say, "Hey, there's only 57 people here. Like nobody cares." Like I was in the middle of looking at wow, 57 people seem to care. This is great. But he's just like, well, there's only 57 people. Like nobody cares. Like, but he added like there should be way more people here. This is great. I was like, oh wow, that's awesome. But still, compared to like normally, I have 4 people in my stream, so 57 is kind of huge and amazing, in comparison. So you know, keep your urine out of my cornflakes, please. I was having a good time over here, and now I'm sad. Oh my. I wonder how many different oranges. Ooh, definitely not that one. That use for Milo over here. Ooh, I think that one. Oh, I almost forgot. Almost forgot to put his little arm in there. And also forgot to go back to the drawing screen. But yeah, it's a strange old, like, I don't even know. The internet today was a whole heaping pile of just horrible things. I mean, it is most days, but yeah, the amount of things people are just trying to destroy, trying to ruin, trying to make worse under the auspices of making them better in their eyes. Just like, really? Really think this is the better way? Everybody crazy? And the answer is just yes. Everybody Everybody is crazy. I was definitely more fun on the other stream. Oh man. I just can't remember any of the fun, weird things from the week. They'll come to me. They'll come to me eventually. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ooh, speaking of He-Man, I did get pretty excited this week. Um, if you saw my Instagram, I think I might have put it on Twitter too. I think it was just on Instagram. But when was it? I guess it was on the weekend. Must have been Saturday. Maybe it was Friday. Either way, I went to the video game store, to the EB Games or GameStop. I don't even know what it's called here anymore or anywhere. Um, but I went. Why did I even go in there? I definitely didn't need anything at all. I think I just didn't feel. I think that's what it was. I just didn't feel like going home. I was like, if I go home right now, I'm gonna start working on something, and I just don't want to. But I do feel like kind of walking around. Uh, so I'm just gonna kind of stay out and wander around a bit. So I went to the mall, and I still don't want to be around people too hard. So just kind of wandering around the mall, and pretty much every time I'll there's only a few stores. You go check out Michael's and go to the EB Games and see if they got any new toys. See if they have any action figures floating around. Even though I'm like, I shouldn't buy any more action figures. And almost right away, there was a Horde Trooper, one of Hordax stormtroopers, basically. And I was like, ooh, that guy looks great. Definitely have to get him. You can't see any kind of mouth or whatever, so he could interact with Skeletor in Skeletor's house, and I won't have to once again do any kind of lip sync to make him talk. So I grabbed him, and then for some reason, I don't know how or why, I just started talking to DJ. Yeah, that was his name. Who works there. And I've talked to him a few times, like, nothing more than like basic pleasantries. But somehow got on the topic that over the pandemic, he started drawing and is working on like his own book with his friend. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, well, now I'm going to just keep encouraging you. So it's just like telling him stories about making stuff and how it's good to keep making stuff, blah, 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 blah. Trying to do that thing that I do where it's just like, don't ever stop drawing. It was like, oh, I'm not really that great, and I just started. It was like, it doesn't matter, great or terrible. It doesn't matter. Like, just do it. If you want to do it, just do it. You're not hurting anybody, and if it makes you happy, then you're winning. And he was like, yeah, that's basically what I learned, because the same thing is like, going to therapy and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, just realizing that I was like, well, what do you want to do with your time? It's like, I'd love to draw, but you can't just start drawing. Like, well, just do it. And then he did, and I was just like, oh, this is great. This is so great. So, he's telling me a bunch of stuff about like just getting into drawing and all those things. Yeah, like I know that like yeah, GameStop does own it all, but yeah, I can never remember if they changed the sign to to GameStop, because like stuff is marked as both GameStop and EB Games, I think. If not, it's all just GameStop-y now. But anyway, because oh yeah, so then I talked to him forever. Like this other person that was working there, she's like, all right, well, I'm gonna run down to the whatever dollar store or something and get something to drink, and she leaves for a little bit, And then when she comes back, she's like, "Oh my god, like you guys are still talking?" I was like, "Yep, that's what I do. I start talking and I don't stop." I was like, "But we're still talking about good stuff, just encouraging. You know, this is not a waste of time." I was like, "If customers come in, like I'll definitely step aside and let them do the talking." And they're just like, "Well, you're a customer too. Like you physically have something in your hand that you're going to pay for." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." But still, um, I can talk for a good 45 minutes without realizing 45 minutes has passed and I've just been rambling on. And so then he goes back over to the counter to like deal with somebody or something, and then she just starts talking to me like asking me about He-Man and other things. To which the answer was basically, "I am super old, and you are 20 or something like that." Because she was just talking about how she loves Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Love Star Wars. Like, oh, like the Phantom Menace, and like those first movies. Like, oh god. And again, it's like that's fine. It was like I loved Phantom Menace when it came out, and it took me a while to realize this is not good. Um, but it still doesn't make it something that people can enjoy. And I was just like, yeah, yeah. Like I collected all the cups and tried to collect action figures of it when it came out. All of us in our animation class dressed up as Star Wars characters and went to go see it the opening night at like midnight, and it was the best time. It was the best time ever. Um, but at some point, she basically said like, oh, like because uh, when Phantom Menace came out, like I was 3 years old. I was like, well, when I was born, was when the first Star Wars, when A New Hope came out. So I am that old, and also like this action figure that I'm buying. Um, these were new things when I was a kid. Not a reboot 40 years later. Like didn't even realize when I got home. Actually, well, whatever. So there's that. Um, and seeing the Horde Trooper led me to believe like, oh well, if there's a new figure here, because they don't really get the He-Man Origins figures in at the GameStop. Like it's just sometimes they have a few that I personally think are just kind of like leftovers from a Walmart order or something. That they just go and get and resell there or something. Like I don't know because there's always like just two random figures. But because that one was there, I was like, well, if there's one new figure here, that means if I leave here right now and rush over to Walmart, there's a good chance the other figures in this line will be here. It was like at least I forget who was on the thing, but it was like Clawful and I can't remember. There's still like the re-release of Skeletor and whatever. So I was like really excited. Like all right, like I can't believe I'm definitely gonna see some new figures when I get over to Walmart. So I left there, went over to Walmart, and they did have new figures, but it was a completely different line than the Horde Troopers. So I'm just like, well, I don't know what to understand or believe now. Anyway, um, but I feel like I was there right away, so I'm like I'm not missing out. If they did get a whole line, which is usually like four or six characters at a time, then I'm getting all four for sure. So I get over to the rack where it is. There's still 600 Ram Mans because for some reason everybody ordered or they made 1,000 Ram Man, which is like Ram Man's not that popular. Are you guys crazy? Make some more Tilas. Um, and they had naked Stratos or just not gray Stratos. So I'm like, ugh, I'd much rather get Stratos all gray, but whatever. Skin weird skin tone Stratos is fine. I'll get weird skin tone Stratos and Buzz Off, which I kind of both love and hate. I had him when I was a kid, and I never quite understood him. I think I saw him in the cartoon once. I'm pretty sure he was in there. but his wings are definitely better than they were back in the 80s. I wish his hands like open and closed. He's got little claw hands, like I assume the same as Clawful's hands were. And but he's got this dumb hat thing that I feel like it feels insane to not put it on his head, and it feels insane to put it on his head. He's got these antennas on his actual head, and then shoop, you can slide this weird BI thing over top of his face. And even in the mini comic that comes with it, it's like it doesn't cover his eyes in the comic either, the way that it does in the toy. And I mean, they're all kind of stuck on the shelf there. I don't know if you can even really see that. It's kind of dark. I'm kind of half tempted not to pull them off the shelf, but I'm gonna pull them off the shelf. Let's talk about Buzz Off for a second. Let's Milo, say something while I go over there. Oh, okay, yeah, just put all the Odith on me. I'll just deal with it. And it'll be fine that my voice gets farther away the further you get away. And no one's that's weird. Yeah, no, nothing weird about this at all. Right? Don't knock everything over, you weirdo. Right, you got one Buzz Off, and then put your headphones back on, so everything's normal. Nobody can notice you sliding in and around the background there. And here I am, and everything's fine. So he's got an axe, which is somewhat weird. I think he used to come with a weird mace thing, but yeah, like look at his weird little hat. Like what is that? What is that? I don't know what that is. But I'll also put it on here. It comes off, and his antennas go through and help it stay on. Like he looks so much better without it, but it's still like I just, for the life of me, I'm just like, what is the point of that? Like if my glasses were like this. I can't even get them to stay that way. But it's just like if my glasses were half over my eyes, what would the point of that be? Why would anybody do that? I don't understand. And it's weird. And then his feet are like significantly bigger than everybody else's feet. Like he's got like an extra long talon. I mean, I don't have many figures that have that foot style, but I'm pretty sure most of the ones that have that foot style, it's just not that big. And yeah, his wings are just a little more technologically advanced in there, which I don't know. I think is cool. I mean, again, ideally, there's still a bunch of characters that hopefully they'll re-release. A new Teal is supposed to come out again with it's not Screech. I can't remember the name, but with some bird. But I'm like, I don't care. I don't want the bird. I just want Tila and Trapjaw and honestly, even Manny Faces I could do without. I don't even care about collecting him. But there's still a few, like Triclops and whatever, that I'm like, maybe they'll re-release them again with slightly different changes. But a lot of times, those slightly different changes are things that I don't like about them. Like, they put out a Triclops that matches the colors and more of the outfit design of the mini comics from back in the day. But it was just like, he's just random rainbow colored. None of the colors go together. It looks awful. When regular Triclops just looks so good. I'm like, ugh. So I didn't see that. I think I did see the alternate version, the Lords of Power version of Beastman, which same deal, just looks insane. Like it doesn't look better. It doesn't even look worse. It just looks crazy, and I'm like, I don't know who this character is. I don't care. Whereas the Lords of Power Merman, like I've got two mermen, and both of them are great. Like one has like the better, mermanish design, and then there's the standard merman that is just Stinkor painted green, or Stinkor's merman painted green. I don't know. There's that was the whole deal. Was we got a few molds, and we just keep reusing them as best we can. Oh, I forgot to make a background. This feel like just making it more blue, but do one of these deals. But again, it's one of those things that do not matter at all. It's, I'm not like hardcore collecting. I don't actually care that much. Let's do this without background in there first. What was it? Oh, yes, and that's what it was. So, when I get home, the first thing I do is send a picture of my 3 new He-Mans to Tim, my friend Tim, because that's a thing we talk about all the time. Is he's collecting he's kind of half collecting Orcos, and the other thing he's basically collecting is the Revelations He-Man figures. Which at a certain point I was like, ooh, should I be collecting these? And now that I have a handful, I'm just like, I don't want any more of these. I don't hate them, but I just don't love them, and it's mostly the fact that they're not as posable as I want them to be. Like, they have multiple points of articulation and rotation point. Like, all the stuff is there, but they just all of them have weird loose parts. Their proportions are just a little more lanky and just more awkward looking than they should be. And also like some of their however their loincloths and skirts and whatever just don't lend themselves to good leg movement, to good anything that would allow me to stop motion them the way that I want them to. So I'm already like, ugh, I don't care. Even if I do see characters that I like, I'm probably not going to get them. But one that was announced that it's coming out, or I think it just came out, was the 40th anniversary He-Man, which is like, again, basically the Revelations He-Man figure, except all of his colors, all of his gear is done the same as the the Origins He-Man, basically. And it never occurred to me other than like, oh, like that's the one to get. Like that one looks so much better than any of the Revelations figures. Like it's just the best, even though it's still basically just a Revelations mold with different stuff. And partway through having this conversation with Tim of just we were just sending each other back and forth like just pictures of other He-Man, like what about this one, like oh this one looks cool, like oh did you see the new Beast Man that they're going to release where he's got like this big fur collar. It looks more like the old He-Man, so it's just like oh it looks so good, but I know that they're just I don't know, the way they're made, they're just not made in a way that I love. So I'm like, whatever. It was like, if I see the 40th anniversary He-Man in the store, then there's a chance I'll grab it. But I'm not gonna go looking for it. I'm gonna stick to just collecting the Origins figures, and again, which started as I just want to get He-Man and Skeletor, and now I've got a shelf and a half full of them. Now, while we're going back and forth, and I'm saying I'm just collecting these, he's saying he's collecting those. 40th anniversary, then I'm just like, wait a second, stop. Like, just stop, collaborate, and listen for a minute. 40th, and as in 40 years. And for some reason, it just didn't hit me that the 40 in 40th anniversary He-Man did not equate to years. And I'm just like, these toys are 40 years old. Like, like they came out when I was a baby. Like that's insane. And wow, it just suddenly just felt so old, and just like, oh man, of all the things to be doing 40 years after this fact, it's yeah, collecting these things. But it just blew my mind. But then I'm like, well, whatever, don't think about it. Just enjoy the rest of your night. But 40 years. Too many years. Too many years. I mean, mathematically, it seems like the right amount of years. Like, I mean, really, you just take a minute, look at the mirror, and think about it. I think 40 sounds about right. I mean, who am I to judge? But yeah, no, I think that's the right amount of years. Too many years. Um. All right, so there's yet another Milo. I'm gonna say I felt like I do like 1,000 of these, but I keep forgetting I have other ones on my iPad. All right, what else? What else haven't I done as of Milo? Hmm. Have I been a robot yet? What about some kind of robot Milo? It seems like something you would have done, but I'm sure we could probably come up with like 50 different robot things. Yeah, we can probably do like 100, like so many different robot versions. Um, let's try roboting your face out. I think this one I will. I'm gonna actually do some rough sketching for this one. So just going right to cleanup drawings. Hmm. Do one of these deals where beep boop bop bop boop boop bop beep bop boop boop beep boop bop beep boop bop. Oh yeah, let's bender him up instead. Rounded and neck area. Probably indent it. Separate. Beep boop beep boop bop. And clampy hands. Gotta have those clampy hands. Too big now. Have one of those. More of a Jetsons robot, but same thing. Jetsons robot, coming from outer space. Jetsons robot. What kind of face does it have? Let's still go kind of benderized. Wait, no, that was mouth is. No, yeah, he's got the thing, and then he's got like the two light things in there. Yeah, we'll just go with this. Kind of looking calculonish, but doesn't matter. Bolts here and there. Yeah, that'll do. More space. Give him some space so we can put his hands in. It won't look like they're wedged into place. I did pick up Kirby and the Lost World or Lost Land, whatever it's called. It looks like it should be super fun. I haven't even plugged it into the machine to see what it's like. I'm just like, I think whenever I play Kirby, I think I might stream it. So, or what time of day or night, I feel like throwing it on, even for a little bit. I'll just start a Kirby stream, and I'll just do as much of a playthrough as I feel like doing. I have literally no idea how much story there is to it. I'm pretty sure there is some. Haven't even really watched any videos of anybody playing it. Just the odd little like clip from like a commercial or whatnot. It's just something about Kirby. I never played Kirby games when I was a kid. Literally, like, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago was the first time I ever played a Kirby game that I can really remember. And yeah, like I said before, Kirby is like kind of a perfect character. He's, you know, super adorable, super simple. He's got that, you know, kind of, I don't know, what makes a Pokemon design so great is, you know, there's just not a lot to it, but yet something about it says so much. And then the fact that he can basically like change shape, he can do anything, he can become other things. He's so versatile. Um, but yeah, since I've played a few, the only ones that I did play were still like full on Nintendo NES Kirby games, and I think the furthest I went is some Super Nintendo Kirby games. I never played Super Nintendo as a kid. Like literally, I don't know. Once I played Mario World. Avocado shake. And I was amazed at that because it was like, what is happening? Like he's got a super cape and he can kind of fly. This is you know they can't do this. They've gone too far. And I grabbed it for the Wii U, uh, and played quite a few levels of it. But overall, it wasn't my favorite Mario. There's something about that Super Mario World design that definitely like as a kid it was one of those things where I'm just like, oh, it's so much better. Um, but it was, I don't know, maybe it was just like too much of everything, kind of a thing. And it might just be the football players, but there's something about Mario going against football player Koopas or whatever they were, monsters. I'm just like, I don't. These don't belong here. They just don't belong here. And that game has a lot of things like that that are just like, you don't belong here. Get out of my Mario. And of course, meanwhile, I'm obsessed with Mario Maker over here, and still I'm just like, yep, don't know what half of this stuff is, but I think it's great. It all works in Mario Maker, but every second level in Mario, it was World, right? Yeah, yeah. Mario Land was Game Boy. Um, every second, level, every second character you come across, I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this. Is this something that I just jump on and it dies, or do I have to ride this somewhere? And as great as Yoshi is, he ultimately kind of complicates things. Now again, in Mario Maker, Yoshi's the greatest thing. You know, everything fits everywhere in Mario Maker, and everything's magical. But in Mario World, it's just like, kind of just don't want to play this. And it's just the colors, everything just seems a little duller. The map feels duller. Like everything just seems not as fun, and just more. I don't know, like more like, just like, this is a game you have to, like, you got to get through this game, um, and prove that you're worthy of playing Nintendo games. Um, but yeah. Went and traded the rest of the Wii U stuff and thought, all right, I don't know what else I want to play, but I definitely will enjoy Kirby. Um, oh, I've only ever seen videos of Yoshi's Island with Baby Mario, and I couldn't even, like, the top comment from those, like, Game Grumpies and whatnot was just like, this game is nearly unplayable because Mario doesn't stop crying. Like, if you drop Mario or whatever you do, he just keeps crying. It's just like, no, that is just unacceptable. Um, and there's lots of games like that where I'm just like, I don't want to play them if there's just like one of the characters is just screaming in pain the whole time. I can't think of any of them right now. Um, Like, I feel like the only one that's kind of in my head is like Popeye, which I think was for Nintendo, where Olive Oil is just constantly just screaming, and it's still just Nintendo screams as well, where it's just like, yeah, Popeye, 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 catch this Popeye. I was just like, oh my god, I hate this. And at the time, I was like, I loved Popeye. I was like, I want to play this forever. And it was also just a terrible game. Like, it's basically just an Atari game, where you're just Donkey Kong junioring up and down a thing, and then trying to catch stuff that she throws down, and it's just awful. But there's a few games like that are just, ugh. um I think, you know games that are, again, this should be super fun, but then it's just like 90% of the levels are escort missions, and it's like, well, yeah, like, that makes sense because of whatever that character is. Like, that is their thing, is that they save people or something, so they just got to keep escorting people around. But oh my god, after zero time at all, who cares anymore? Um, I care. I think that I care. I would like to make sure all of those imaginary video game characters get home safely, and everyone gets back to their little 8-bit family. And I mean, I guess if you're a monster inside, that's okay. You could let all the imaginary characters, just die and be left for dead. But I don't know, as one of them, I feel like it's quite offensive that you don't do everything in your power to make sure that everyone gets home safe. Do you remember? Do you remember that time that I can't remember how it happened, but we did a whole little series where you were cloned and we didn't know which Milo was the real Milo, and then Ripley cloned too many Milos, and then you specifically were the one that murdered all of them. All of them. I'm pretty sure that was the clone that did all the murdering, and I wasn't there that day, and then I came home later, and I was like, "What's going on here?" So morally speaking, I believe I got off scot free on that one, and everyone else was the murderers and or the victims. And if anything, you were the one that sat there and watched it all happen. There was a whole montage. There was a whole entire montage, and you were in every single one of those pictures. But me, I might not have been there. But maybe I was. It's hard to remember. That was years ago. That's true. That is true. I think that is what happened. Um, but yeah, still, still an awful lot of imaginary character slaughter, and they were all me. I mean, technically they were all me. So realistically, again, they're all trying to survive, and then you're all like, "Hey, Mr. Me thinks they all have to be destroyed because we can't have more than one Milo, even though we should all have more than one Milo. We should each have 6 Milos in our house. I mean, if you don't have 6 Milos in your house, then who's gonna tell you that you're a stupid jerk face, whether you need to hear it or not? I mean, some people don't need to hear that they're a stupid jerk face. It's okay to go through your day without being accosted or made fun of by imaginary characters. No, that doesn't make any sense at all. If that's not happening, then I don't, then you're not living. I mean, yeah, I also agree with that. I don't know. I don't know how you became the voice of reason today. I'm always the voice of reason. I just don't know how you haven't been listening to the voice of reason for all of this time. Mm, you got another good point. As today's voice of reason, I again have to agree. Drawing some robot faces of Milo in their places. Making some blue lines, then I trace it up so it's nice and clean. Why didn't I make notes this week? What were those things? Found some He-Man. Good time. A video about the He-Man on the shelf. That was great. Oh, the interview is out that I did with Brian Russo over on his blog. I can't remember the name of the website, but the links are at his Instagram, Russo Draws. It's a written interview, but it's also he put up the audio so you can hear some of the even crazier things that I talked about that he didn't include. He even put a little warning on the audio, or just like here's the full interview you can listen to, but just be forewarned that Curtis does talk about some projects that are oh, what was the word? It wasn't offensive, but basically another word for offensive, or whatever TV shows say before, the following may contain scenes that are whatever, violent and or gross. And I mean, I'm just describing some projects that I worked on where I'm like, just talking about trying not to sell your soul and doing art and whatever. So mostly, like, the interview is just about, like, hey, how do you get out of a slump? Do you get into slumps? Like, yeah, of course I do. 90% of my life is in a slump, trying to decide whether or not I should keep making art things. And and I think that most people who just make things, they just have to exist in and around that slump. There's just no way around it because it's kind of weird to just make stuff up. And if people, and he blames it on, like, the social media mediating of the world, where it's like, yeah, like, people don't judge themselves the way they should. We do judge ourselves based on likes and retweets and whatnot when it doesn't matter. So it was like, yeah. I was like, every time I actually get myself to start, this definitely was beyond parental guidance. Um, but yeah, like there's a lot of things that we either do just because we think somebody's gonna like it. So it's like I try not to do those things. So of course I can't get angry at my or think myself like, oh, like you're worthless if I do a project. It's like not a million people liked this when it's like you specifically did that because you liked it and you're just trying to entertain yourself and enjoy your own work. So it also makes sense that it's like, yeah, this isn't a weird national phenomenon. Um, but I can consecutively prove to myself that it is like I don't know how to read the world. I don't know what people are into. Um, excuse me. Even when I do, it just doesn't matter because again, like the last adventure, or Skeletor's house that I did, as I did it, I'm like, well, this isn't anything. This is just me experimenting with some Skeletor and some rigging and action figures and stop motion stuff. Like this definitely is far from an actual completed, setup punchline. There's no joke. It goes nowhere. There's zero arc. And then again, like immediately, like unlike most of the things that I do, there's a bunch of like just legitimate comments of people just out in the internet somewhere, just being like, "Oh, this is perfect. I love like this was genius. This one was genius. Are you sure? I don't think I know what genius is." And which is completely true. Oh yeah, no, you don't know. I mean, if I know anything, I know that you're not genius, and that is basically just what you prove day in and day out that you're not a genius. And if you would just listen to me, I just tell you all the time, hey, by the way, hey genius, that's said, in sarcastically. That's my sardonic way of saying things. Like, hey Einstein, I'm not saying, oh hey, you're a super smart guy that like cheated on his wife who was also his cousin. I'm saying that you're an idiot. That's what the thing that people do. You get it? You get sarcasm? That's enough out of you. Um, but anyway, most of it's just that where it's like he's making his books and doing things just like, oh, like you seem to have it made. You're so positive. You're so able to show people the stuff you're working on while you're working on it. You're doing these streams and this and that. I'm just like, oh yeah, no, like like yes, I do. Like I have to remind myself that I am living the quote unquote dream, or like my dream, which is, making the stuff that I want. Like I don't have a publisher that's telling me to change things or make it better or different. So I do just get to, from beginning to end, make what I want, and then, you know, have to try to share it on my own, as opposed to the publisher doing a bunch of work because they're trying to actually make money on this and turn it into a thing. So it's like, that's the double edged sword, or be careful what you wish for kind of thing. It's like I want to do whatever I want, whatever I want to do it. Well, there's only one way to do that, and that's to just do what you want when you want to do it, and don't really expect anything from it unless you want to bow down to the ways of the publishers or the producers or the directors. The amount of times I've made a little comic strip that was just like, here's an artist doing the work, and here's the producer farting in your face saying, no, do it what I say, because I know better, even though I hired you because you know better, blah, blah, blah. And that's the paradox of making art. If you do want it to be popular, then there's a pretty good chance you yourself are going to hate it, because you're kowtowing, you're selling out, if you will, to the quote unquote highest bidder, or the most interested people, and people don't know what they want or what they like. And when I say people, I include myself in that, because I never know what I want. I can never figure out like what does make me happy. What if I draw this today? Will that make me happy? And like on the weekend, I did a thing that, again, I thought, I was like, well, this just popped into my head. I want to draw it. I'm mildly certain that it's more going to upset people than make people happy, but it's in my head, and I need to do it. I need to do it, and pretty sure you guys have seen it anyway. But iPad, professional iPad, 'cause I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. Where are my photos? Close, select. AirDrop to my computer. Bing and ba-ding means it's sent. So while I was waiting for the superintendent, for the fix-it guy of the building to come and finally fix my sink, because it's just been leaking underneath for the longest time. So I've pretty much just had my water turned off in the kitchen for the longest time, and I've just been eating out relentlessly because I'm like, I can't dirty dishes, because if I do dishes, then I have a giant puddle of water to clean up underneath the sink, and I don't want to completely rot away all the wood. And are they ever gonna come and do this? And so he calls like Sunday morning, like, all right, I'm upstairs now. I'll be over in a bit. Like, you'll be what now? It's Saturday morning. I was gonna watch a movie and fall asleep on the couch. So he was on his way, and I genuinely, I can't for the life of me remember why this popped in my head, but the idea of the I'm pretty sure most of you here are Canadian. I don't know if Voxney is still around. I think she's in the States. Um, but our Canadian Heritage Minutes that are apparently called minutes. I've always thought, I don't know if that's a Mandela, but I always thought they were called Canadian Heritage Moments. And every time I tried to look them up, they were always minutes. So I was like, all right, I guess I was wrong. And for some reason, I am drawing with a mouse right now. Oh yes, that's the only way to click over to the other screen. So, I don't know, I got this idea in my head. Where did it save? Downloads. So I went to the internet and quickly Googled the James Naismith inventing basketball Canadian Heritage Minute, which I don't care about any of the things, but the old guy that's just like, I need those peach baskets back. Like, well, let's cut the bottom out of the basket, and then he's still like, I need them back, and then he still cuts a little hole in them so they could poke a stick through it. But still, it's just like, you're still cutting a hole in the bottom of your peach baskets, and that stayed with me forever. And for some reason, um, I thought like I do want to draw him like getting ready for going on a revenge mission. So I took some screen caps of this guy, both climbing up and as he's cutting a hole in the basket, and just drew him real quick and did a bunch of rough sketches, and it turned out like this. And then I was just playing around with the brushes on the Ibis paint on the iPad, and it's just like, oh, like this looks like a crazy bloody massacre. Like, this is perfect. Posted it to the internet and kind of forgot about it after a little while. And then, then went back to my phone, looked at things, and people were like, so many more people than I'd ever imagined. Like, not only liked it, but shared it. Where I'm just like, do, scrolling through, and in that way where it's like it didn't even tell me like so and so shared this. I just happened upon their page and just like, oh wait, like a bunch of people shared this thing, which reasonably, or I can reasonably understand, because it is a part of our heritage. Like, we all we all quote, we all still think about those Canadian Heritage Minutes so many years later, and you know, of course, that's what it is. And I called it a Canadian Heritage moment, and thought I should do more of these. Like, as I, and before I posted that, I was like, I think I might do other ones. So I just went to like a heritage moment wiki or whatever, and just to see a list of all of the heritage minutes and which one that I could turn into a horror one. And the thing about the Canadian Heritage Minutes is if you take a minute and really, really think about them, only like 2 or 3 of them are hilarious and fun. House Hippo is not a Canadian Heritage Minute. I mean, it is now because it's part of our history. It's part of our heritage. But at the time, I'm pretty sure it was about like treating the environment well or something. I can't remember. Oh, every time that house hippo comes up, though. Oh man, what a wild time! Like to this day, like I still see posts where people are like, "What? Where can I get one of these?" Like, dude, that is from so long ago. And oh man, it wasn't real then. And people were like, "Have you seen these?" Like, no. I mean, yes, but it's like that was that was a thing. Um, like the whole point of that video was no, if you could get a house hippo, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Um, oh, he's the best. He's the greatest thing. Like if they had him in conjunction, I mean, it wouldn't have made sense. But it's just like, hey guys, we're trying to be responsible around here. Uh, I know like house hippos aren't a thing. You shouldn't believe in these. But today, purchase this delightful little house hippo figure or a stuffed animal or whatever, and they would have just sold tons of them. Even if they did it right now, they'd still sell plenty because it's part of our Canadian heritage minutes. Um, but yeah, most of them are already horrific. Like, because I was like, well, which one of these can I turn into like a zombie or a monster? And as I read through them, just like these are all already upsetting. Because like I'm not touching any of the race ones, which is most of them, and then any of the stuff with women is just like, yep, this is still horrific. This was true. If I turn it into anything else, it makes it uh uh it doesn't make it more horrific. Like it does, like I can't do a funny weird version of this because it's already just terrible. And like the only one that I was like maybe like Matt suggested I do one like through the air across the ocean for the first time ever. Like that one's safe. I could do something with that. um, but it's still like, there's not really anything. It's just inventing the phone. I don't know. I can come up with something, I guess, as far as like something, horror style. But the only other one that I was like, something locked in my head, or was like, I should do this, was Malmare Melody, just to pour more. We have to keep our Irish names. And you, child, like, my name is uh, Patrick O'Neill, and you, uh, I can't remember the girl who'd actually had a French name, and they're like, "Oh, bon bon, you can keep your name, because you have a French one." Like, I still that commercial, I never really understood it. But anyway, the idea that I thought was, I just do that one, and then just creepily like Children of the Corn them up, so it's just 3 kids, but with like big, wide, dead eyes, and just kind of zombie-ish. Um, like they're just weird undead children. But then I just take the same text, that is Cadienne Royale. That was the third girl's name, and I was gonna write like take the text where it just says "Ma mère Melody," and you child like Patrick O'Neill, and then have the third one just say Cadienne Royale, but they're just Molly, uh, Molly Shannon. Um, but then I'm still just like that one is called The Orphans. I'm just like, oh, I can't bring myself to make these worse than they are. Like the basketball one is the only one that's just still from beginning to end is kind of silly, and and just about inventing a sport. But yeah, the rest are just like, hey, Laura Seacourt. Oh, hey, you guys in the fire. Oh, douse water on her while we just try to survive in the river so we don't all die in this massive fire. Like, the heritage of Canada is upsetting. Like, the heritage of every country is upsetting for sure. But I'm just like, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead on this, cause this is gonna get darker before it gets lighter, and uh, and yeah, I think I kind of want to do another one, but at the same time, just like, ugh, lines get overstepped too far already in those things. But again, always for so long, just like they're hilarious and fun and wacky, glimpses into our history, and yeah, especially if you read the titles for them, yeah, just upsetting. Um, like even the other one was like, he didn't have no guns. Why didn't I shoot him? He didn't have no guns. Who was that man? That was Constable Sam Steele of the Mounted Police. He didn't have no guns, and I'm still just like, I got nothing other than having Sam Steele shoot this guy. I was like, I got nothing. It just ends up being instead of instead of wacky, silly horror nonsense. It's just throwing more gas on the fire, and it made me feel bad. So I did not. I did not. Oh hi, Mark. Um Molly Shannon. Cadienne Royale. 'Cause even like the one that's just like, oh, how Canada got. Oh, I'm over here talking. Did you not notice that it's on me and I should be the one talking? I'm just flapping my mouth around for no reason whatsoever. Just exercising my face over here. Don't mind me. I'm just over here exercising my face, opening and closing my mouth without making any sound whatsoever. That's fine. Yeah, real professional. This is why everybody hates you. Not because of your violent versions of the Canadian history. It's because of actions like this. All right, calm down, you. Calm down. Beep boop bop, ba bop bop, beep bop, ba doo. Um, damn it! Now I lost my train of thought because Milo went off on his tirade. Oh, if only I had two brains to work with over here. Make some squares. Yeah, even TV watching wise, I've mostly been watching. I don't have any interesting like, ooh, have you guys seen this? You guys should give this a try. I mean, I guess I could say you guys should give continue question mark a try. But yeah, I've just been keep watching. Just another version of Game Grumps, if you will, very podcasty. It's just three guys on a couch and they talk at the camera for a little bit, and then they play some usually old PlayStation, Nintendo, like just whatever old games. And I think they're really funny, so I keep watching it again and again. But overall, it is just basically, the same old three dudes playing old games. But it's a lot of games that I never would have played in a million years. I never will play in a million years, and to see somebody's reaction. Sometimes they'll play something that is like, this is a dumb game, but they make it so much fun that I'm like, ooh, I almost want to play that game. And they're even like, ooh, I almost want to play this game some more. But I don't, because it sucks. But yeah, it's continue. like with a question mark at the end, and then at the end they're usually like, "Would you continue playing this game, or is it game over?" And it's Paul, Nick, and Josh, and Josh is my favorite. um, but yeah, they'll make up little jokes and skits. I think they might have had a podcast or something first. They seem to have a lot of like they'll cut away to things, which is still them like kind of doing skits and stuff, but those are clearly old. But I have no idea what those skits are from, um, or if these guys do like that's their other thing is like doing skits and stuff. But in the moment, they're pretty fun. Yeah, I watched a few newer ones and some older ones, and it's pretty fun. Like Paul, the middle guy, we'll call him. I completely thought he was replaced because the first few I watched, it was like I didn't really take notice of their names because sometimes there's the guy in the middle and he's got short hair and he seems to be the most fashionable type of guy. Um, and then later on, the guy in the middle, he's got like a beard, he wears a hat, he's got like long, scraggly hair. And it was like, I think that's the same voice though? Is that the same voice? And then eventually realizing, like, oh, that's Paul. Like, they've just changed because even though I feel like I'm just watching this thing, this is like, these videos are 10 years old. Or there's at least a 10-year, if not more, time span of when these videos started. So that's really fun to kind of watch these people age and get younger with every random click of the YouTube or allowing the algorithm to find something more. And there's a robot Milo. Oh, Daredevil Milo. Wonder Milo. I forget what her name is. Charlie's Angel Milo. Alien Skullface Milo. Dinosaur. Out. Else. Only 8:30. I am ready for bed. So yeah, I've been watching a bunch of those, and man, games are insane. They're just insane. The amount of weird things, like PlayStation was this weird thing that I keep forgetting. It had a dumb name. At least now they mostly go with like, it's a PS3, it's a PS4. Nobody calls it a PlayStation anymore. But when it first came out, it was the PlayStation. And it sound what? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. That's why. And it sounds like, you know, um, a station for playing, i.e., a kid's toy. And that's definitely what I thought when it first came out. Like, oh, the PlayStation. But you keep forgetting that a lot of it was like, oh, it's on CDs, huh? This is like an adult gaming machine. So there was just so many games that are just so adult, which, that might not have swearing in it, but still just like a lot of innuendos, or just straight up like one of the games was BMXXX, like BM Triple X BMX game, which was essentially Tony Hawk, except on a BMX, but it was all like all girls as the characters, but the way you could dress them up was like pretty much Civvy 11. Oh yeah, those old retro style shooters like drive me crazy. But yeah, there's a bunch of those games that are just like, how did they even get away with getting this out there? Like, this seems insane. But one of them they were playing. Oh god, once it came up on the screen, I'm like, that's the game. Like, I remember renting this game and just feeling like so destroyed by it, because it's like within 20 minutes, you basically go from like, you start the game and you get to the impossible point in the game so soon in where it's like, it doesn't matter if you die and start again. You're done. Like, unless you just keep going from the beginning and still keep all of your power ups, there's just no way to get through it. But it's also basically, it's this big like living planet type of thing, and you fly into the planet, and then you're just basically inside this planet. It's all just weird, like just horror type things, like hands coming out meaty hands, eyeballs everywhere, and just weird innard things like a giant tongue and teeth going up and down. And as soon as they started playing, I was like, that's the one. Like I remember that so hard. And even before they started playing it, like the name is just such a dumb, weird name. But the box art looked cool, but it's just like a side-scrolling shooter, like the old uh, um, Silver Surfer game that was just like impossible. Like, oh, cool, like we're gonna fly around like a Silver Surfer. Like, no, everything kills you. The floor kills you. The roof kills you. You can't get anywhere. You can't do anything. It was basically that, except it had cool power ups, but it was so hard. But the name, I'm gonna check my YouTube history here. But it's just such a weird name. Um, scrolling, scrolling. Hey, what's going on? This is my history. Oh, I have to press C all. Abadox. That's what it is. Abadox. And it was like as soon as I saw that, because in my head I keep thinking it's Zaxxon, but that was like a ColecoVision, maybe an Atari game slash arcade game. That was like a 3/4 down shooter game where you're flying a spaceship, also with a weird name. But it was like, oh, Abadox. Like, yes, it's just hit me. The name is like also kind of bloody and weird. But it's pretty amazing to just like, I don't know. Sometimes they remember it, and other times I'm like, wow, I can't believe they're not losing their minds like I am. Um, but yeah, just having that visceral reaction to like I just spent whatever it was $5. I think it was probably $3 back then to rent a game. It's all my money. That's all I have. I've got it for 2 days. I've got to make the best of it. And then you get home and it's just like this is unplayable garbage. Oh, do I ever hate this? I forget the other one that I got that I was so excited about. Then it's just like, is this even a game? Is this even a game? And like I don't think I ever rented Where's Waldo, but one of those types of games where it's like, oh, this isn't even a game. Like if somebody paid money for this, like to own it, that would have been just a giant waste because there's nothing even to this. And then the other ones that were like, I think I definitely need some kind of player guide in order to figure out what to do here. But I think it was called. It ended up being like an amazing game. I remember wanting to get it and play it more, but it was the first kind of hybrid, kind of an RPG, but still just side-scrolling action game. Because like I couldn't handle the RPG stuff. Like, hey, let's fill up your backpack with stuff. You gotta get extra bag of holding, and you gotta get a better. So it's like, oh, just let me jump on the things. Um, but I believe it was called Faxanadu, not Xanadu. I'm pretty sure it started with a fax, Xanadu. And you just start off as basically like a naked guy with maybe a loincloth. Then you eventually find some boots. And then you can find some boots that help you jump because you can't really do anything. And then you find a sword. And at first it was like, this is the dumbest, most worthless game ever. Like, this character can't do anything. And then after a little while, I'm like, oh my god, I think I might have to rent this again. Because once I take it back, that's it. Like, my save is gone. Somebody's going to save over it, or it won't be there next weekend. And I think I just went back and re-rented it again right away. But yeah, there was a lot of those games that I'm like, I don't even know what this word is. Why would I rent this? Like Chose. Every time I went to the game rental rack, the whatever, the 14 Nintendo games that they had, and I just kept reading Chose. Like, one of these days I'll rent Chose and see what that's all about, but I don't know what that word means. I don't know what this game is about. It looks like total chaos, but whatever. I'll give Chose a try one of these times. And it was definitely like, a year later, if not years later, that I realized that's how you spell chaos. And the game was called chaos. I don't know what it was. Maybe one of these days I'll run across the continue guys playing it. But yeah, it was just one of those. There was always a few that yeah, you just always looked at the box and just thought, oh, I'm gonna play this, and then you just didn't. But so many of those games, like it's great to be able to see now just how unplayable some of them were, um, and or to see people like force their way through them, or it's like I'm not giving up. But I forget what I was looking up. Pretty sure I wasn't looking up anything Ninja Turtle related, but somehow something popped up where it's just like TMNT Cowabunga edition or Cowabunga collection. That's what it was, and it was just like, excuse me, internet, what are you talking about? And clicked on that, and I was like, oh my god, I have to go get this now. And it said like at Walmart for $40, $49, Ninja Turtles Chaos. Now that's stuck in my head. Cowabunga collection, and I'm like, well, what does this mean? What is it a collection of? But it looked like it had some of the old side-scrolling Ninja Turtle beat 'em ups that you just can't get anymore because the licensing has run out, etc. And I'm just like, I keep trying to find games like that, but you just can't. And it was just like it has the arcade version, it says anyway, and then it has all of like the Sega releases, the Super Nintendo releases of like Hyperstone Heist and Turtles Take Manhattan or whatever those games are, and then it has like the original weird crazy Turtles game from the original NES, and some of the fighting games. And I'm like, oh my god, like I definitely want to play all of these again. Like these are that's what streams are made of for sure. And but then I kept clicking on it and it just kept saying like pre-order. I'm like pre what? Like oh well maybe I'll screw it. Maybe I'll pre-order it. And then it looked and was like it will ship in June. Like in June? Are you crazy? That was 5 minutes ago. You want me to wait all the way around the clock and pre-order now? Like no. I'll wait till it comes out. Maybe it'll end up being like way more expensive. Well, there was two versions. There's the $49 one that's like just the games, and then like a $150 version that comes with all these art books and everything that I kind of don't care about. So I'm like, no loss there. But anyway, something to look forward to. Slash, one of the weird things that I get oddly excited about. I think I was actually looking for stop motion stuff. I was looking for. I watched a video of a guy explaining what a winder is in stop motion, and it's basically a rig to like hold your character. That's on and there's a bunch of different ones, but I assume that the winder one was on like on teeth, so that you can just kind of use some sort of knob to rotate your way. Oh, that looks bad. Move the armature around just by like adjusting a knob or whatever, so the thing will slide along the teeth, and it has a clip thing, and then some prehensile arms and whatnot. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like maybe I will just finally break down and get one of those. But anytime I've ever seen them, they seem to be a thing that's like minimum of like $300. But this seemed like he was like, oh, I got this from this guy, and it was awesome. But again, like, one of the reasons I do stuff like this is to get into that world where it's like, I'm interested in this, and then the people that make that thing go like, oh, well, here, give it a try then. If you're interested, we'll just send you one. So the guy that was explaining it was like, "Oh, I really wanted to try this. I kept trying to order it from them, but they kept being like out of stock or whatever. So then they just sent me one. So they just sent me one so I could have some fun with it. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Ugh. And he was like, anyway, go here to order one. And I went there and I was like, you know what? I don't even care how much it is. Like maybe I will just go for it. I don't care. And then I saw that it was like $150. I'm like, oh, I do care. I do care. And also, all of the best stop motion gear that you can get is all in the UK. Like, all because of Aardman and the Wallace and Gromit stuff. All of the best stop motion gear you can order comes from Europe. Like the armatures that I do have, I'm pretty sure that both of them came from across the pond. And so on top of that, I'm just like, well, I'm also pretty sure that conversion-wise, the other reason that the royal family doesn't make any sense, like one is, the whole reason they exist was, oh, we're just going to colonize everywhere and take over and take all of your stuff. So it's just like, it's purely built on a weird power-grabbing racism nonsense, so the fact that keeps going is a little bit insane. And then on top of that, where it's like, I thought we were owned by, we got the queen and all her money, so why is it that if I order something from the UK, it costs me twice what that number is or whatever? It's like, it's almost double or something like that. So I'm like, shouldn't our money be even remotely equal? Like, because if it's not, the queen is terrible at her job and the monarchy is terrible. Take all of their money away and give it to all the people. Take all of the land that they own and give it back to all the people. They seem to be bad people. They seem to be bad people. So, so I didn't order that. I just looked at it and went, oh, it's from the UK. Oh, it's already hundreds of dollars. Never mind. But the main part being, oh, they just sent it to him. They just sent it to him. So I think that's our new game. That's our new challenge. Is how many Skeletors does it take to get somebody to send us some random free stuff? Or I want a little divot there. I feel like I do. This looks like boobs. This looks like boobs. How many Skeletors do I have to do before Mattel says, hey, stop doing that? We don't approve of you pretending that you're the Skeletor. You're not the Skeletor. Like, awesome. The cease and desist is very similar to, hey, we see you. We see you. Oh yeah, speaking of dumb things people say, on the Streamlabs stream that I did today for several hours of drawing stuff, dude came in and was all, hey, excuse me. He didn't say that. He was like, hey, like, this is great. You're really entertaining and funny and whatever. I might be paraphrasing some things and adding more compliments, but it's just like, you're the greatest person in the world. I'm like, oh, thanks. You should be working for like a famous company making, drawing stuff for them. And his example was Google. Imagine if you should work for Google and then you could like animate and draw the Google Doodle. And I didn't scream. I didn't go crazy, but I did still have a little bit of a ribbit and say like, what? Why would I want that? Why would I want that? I was like, if I worked at Google in a animation capacity, um, odds are I'd be doing like maybe some like little loading things or something like that. Like, I don't even know what it would be, but it would just be like random little graphics. The Google Doodles are usually done by people who are famous animators and artists who's like, oh, prestige, look at this. Or it's about some other famous person. Yeah. So it's like nobody would ever know or care about me. It would just be about what the Google Doodle is. Uh, and more importantly, I was like, I do work for what I consider a famous company at the moment. I do stuff for famous people, and the company's a pretty big deal. Um, but I get to do different stuff. Like every day, I get to do something different. And if my job was to do the Google Doodle, what every day, like I would definitely have to quit that job. Like what? After 2 weeks? After a week? I mean, literally, like what do you do? I animate the letters G, O, O, G, L, and E kind of differently. And then try not to explode, I guess. Like that's it just to me, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Again, I don't know what people want or what people love, how to fully entertain people. Uh and it's definitely, you know, hard to figure out when people say stuff like that because it's like, "Oh, like you're one of the normal people. You're part of the populace that likes and buys things, I assume." So if I'm over here, like, check it out, I'm doing a book about my cat. Even though 1,000 people are like, oh, have you thought about doing cat videos? Something about cats? You know, that's what people love on the internet. Like, it is, but they like real cats. They like real baby cats falling over, and that's about it. I get, I can fall over if need be, but I can't get any younger. I just can't get any younger. I mean, I could add some, mustache. I mean, you just don't you dare take the time to replace me with a baby Milo, cause that I'd be so offended. I'd be so offended. Stop thinking about it. Hey, I see what you're doing over there. Stop thinking about it. Don't you dare give me those big baby eyes and a little baby body with a big head. I'm already. This is it. This is what we're doing. There's no Milo babies or make our dreams come true. Milo babies will do the same for you. Oh, when? Oh, how dare you! Stop it. I can see it. Oh my god. I'm getting so angry over here. You would not like me when I'm hulking out because I will hit you with this mug. I will hit you and whatever the contents that are inside it will drip down your face and I will just relish in it and then I will eat your eyeballs. I swear to fun, I will eat your eyeballs. Now, no, I'm not going to make a Milo baby. All right? I'm not going to make Milo babies. Sure, it would be a good idea, but I'm still going to be that idiot that's just like, "Hey, does this work?" Kind of, not really. I'm entertained by it. And when he shows up in other streams, people enjoy it. Um, but anyway, yeah, it's just yet another one of those things where it's just like, you know what you should do? NFTs. Ugh. I've got a great idea. Have you ever heard of YouTube? Yeah, I'm talking to you on it right now. No, but I mean like making a viral. You don't just make YouTube videos. Make one that's viral. And people are like, "Whoa!" Most people that are making videos are not going, "I'm making a viral video." They're just making a video, and then it happens. You're just trying to make things. That's what we do. Turns out I was not roughing out. I'm just gonna turn this black. Muppet babies, they'll make your dreams come true. Muppet babies, they'll do the same for you. When the thing is scary, weird, and you don't want to go outside, just make up some words, 'cause you don't remember how they go. Oh, this look bad if I just stretch it. Oh, there we go. No one will know. No one will know, just like that TikTok audio. No one will know. No one will know. Just copy. Oh. Oh, speaking of things to get outraged by, who else is sick and tired of or has even noticed? Because it feels like several months ago was maybe the first time somebody was like, hey, we decided to play a trick on all of our husbands. We bought them all the same shirt. Then we got them all to meet up at this whatever gathering. And then they're all like one by one, like, wait a second, you're wearing the you sure got us. So it's like, yep, that's a clever, delightful prank. But the thing about the TikTok world is people don't just go, hey, I saw something funny on TikTok and it was funny. Good job for those guys. People see something on TikTok and they go, hey, let's do this. Let's do this exact thing in this exact way. To the point where some of these people are like, these are different people and I'm pretty sure you got everybody still basically the same shirt as that other TikTok video. And then they even say it as like, hey, I got this idea from a TikTok video. Like, you didn't get an idea from you were copying, you were just making that same video again. And it makes me insane. It makes me insane. Like, I can't. But it's like, wherever it is, Facebook or on Instagram, or even on TikTok itself, where it's just like, the text comes up, or that stupid robot voice. We bought our husbands all the same shirt. Watch and see what happens. Watch right till the end. Stop telling me to watch to the end. If you want me to watch till the end, that means that this 3-minute video is all a waste of my time. And I'm pretty sure if I get to the end, you're a liar and it's not worth it. And it never is. It never is. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. I heard that they're the world's most fearsome fighting team. Something on their green. They're heroes on the half shell and they're green. When the evil Shredder attacks, that's a turtle hand, not a Milo hand. Oh my god. Also, why are we still looking at me? These turtle boys don't cut 'em no slack. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll put a hand in here, but I feel like I need to put a hand in here. Put a little sigh in his hand. A little novelty knife, so he can cause some strife. That looks weird. That looks weird. Let's see if I can just move it a little bit. So what's weird is I can see on my chat within the stream that there's an avocado shake comment with Milo crying laughing. But in my actual, hey, this is the chat that's going on, it doesn't show up. I wonder, is there a refresh for this? Weird. Weird. But all of the other comments are there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand much about much at all. Here, instead of redrawing it, because I'm lazy. I'm lazy. See, that, I could see that one. That one popped up. Maybe it was just in the middle of a refresh. You know what? I don't like this hand. I'm just going to do this. Put him back the way he was. An arm going out this way. Let's go with this orange. Yeah, no, I've got it on the multi-stream chat so I can see regardless of where it comes from. But either way, like Twitch is still kind of like top tier. So it should. Why am I? What? Oh, I'm out of my mind. I already selected a bill. Okay. Oh, that's why. On a different layer. But yeah, that is true. It's just one of those things that's weird sometimes. Through the air, across the ocean, for the first time ever. Connecting all the things, it makes sense that stuff will occasionally not show up. Or it's bouncing off of 1,000 different servers in 1,000 different places. Ew. Whoop. Whoop, whoop. That is the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. It's already after 9. I think I'll finish up with this one. I'm going to play some Fortnite or something as well, but it's been a long day. It's been way too long of a day. And I'm all out of energy. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I was going to try and add some texture or something. But I am wiped out. Oh, man. Oh. Only hold a pen so long. Oh. Or there's a giant dent in your finger, and your forearms don't work anymore. But anyway, there's a Milo turtle. What did we do? A robot. That's 3. That's 3. That's pretty good. Pretty good. It's not a whole page of panels. It doesn't necessarily tell any kind of story yet. But like I said, one of these days I will crack out the I'll crack open the script again and get to drawing the actual panels. But yeah, I keep just not feeling like even opening it or looking at it because I'm like, oh, there's so many pages to draw. But always so many projects to do, and nothing stopping me from doing them. So, you know, always more stuff on the way. Went to Subway again before started streaming. There was a lady in front of me with 2 kids, and she got like whatever. They each got a sub, let's say 6-inch, I believe, and a drink, and some chips, I think. And when they got up to pay, I'm pretty sure I heard the guy say like that'll be like $57 or something like that. It was well over $50. I'm just like, this lady's gonna freak out, right? Like, cause she already was kind of ordering and you know what I would describe as a Karen-ish manner, where everything was like, well, how do I do this? What about this? And just like, you're at Subway. This is definitely not your first time. Why does everybody seem like it's their first time at Subway? And but then when the guy said like that'll be $50-some, like I really just expected like, oh wow, she's going to lose her mind for sure, because that's too much money. That's too much money for 3 subs for what I would consider is essentially like maybe $20 worth of food. Realistically, $20 worth of food, and you know, I mean, we used to go to Subway because it was like you get like a $3 sandwich and it's $1 for a big thing of juice or pop or whatever. This is actually a mixture of lemonade and Orange Crush. It's today's juice mixture. But I was just like, wow, wow, like, oh my god, oh my god, like, how dare you? How dare you in today's climate to, just go like, hey, by the way, nobody can afford anything. Gas is unbelievably expensive. You can't get anywhere. Literally the truckers and whatever that are off protesting things can't get back from their protests because they can't afford the gas to get to and from places. I was behind a truck the other day. I took a picture of it. Huge truck, biggest truck in the world, but still just a regular pickup truck, but it was like 17 feet high. I was like, this is crazy. And it had I almost said Trump. It had F Trudeau on the back. And I'm just like, I really, really want to like track this guy down, or at least be ready for the next time I see one of these cars. And I want to get other stickers made that say like, I want to, or please let me, and stuff like that, and then put those above the F Trudeau things, because it's just like, oh wow, like this guy wants to have sex with the prime minister so bad. He's got a sticker on the back of his car. But it was so funny because he was like trying to go through a drive-through, and he's like, pulled up all sideways, where it's like, your truck is too big to go through drive-throughs. Just go into the store then. You're the one who's protesting having to do everything. So if anybody has finally earned your right to go into a restaurant or a drive-through place without a mask on, you work so hard for it. You got this giant truck that costs you $90 to get down to the end of the street. So just go in there. Your truck is too big to do anything with. I'm just so sick of people. But the other thing is just like, hey, we're turning over Roe versus Wade. Like, you're doing what? In a time when people definitely can't like afford mentally, physically, monetarily to go raising children that can't be raised. Like, there's just like, you're just dooming people. You're just dooming people. And anyway, the internet just keeps being a doom scroll. It just keeps being a doom scroll. Every once in a while, it's just like, hey, it's just He-Man figures all day long. Twitter's just He-Man figures today, guys. It's cool. It's just He-Man figures. Check it out. Everyone's posted their pictures of Buzz Off today. Look at this dumb little hat. It's just dumb Buzz Off. Everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine. Let's all go to Twitter today. It's just all action figures. And then the next day you wake up, it's just like, oh, God, Susan's, oh, no, ah! And it just, oh. So, you built the thup, we had a real good time, and then you took the last 5 seconds to go, by the way, everything sucks. Is that what you're doing? Yep, that's what I'm doing. That's what I do. Anyway, try not to doom scroll. Try to keep your doom scrolling intermixed with fun time scrolling. I don't even know how to do that. But anyway, thanks for hanging out once again, guys. I'll be back next week or randomly throughout the week playing Kirby or some other things. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get myself to work more constructively on some of these projects instead of some of the outlier parts of them, and we'll get somewhere. We'll get a new book done one of these days, and I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say I don't have anything to say this week, really. I'll try to make sure to make notes when weird stuff happens, because as soon as I stop this and back away from the computer for more than 5 seconds, I'll be like, oh yeah, this was the week that the crazy guy did the crazy thing. But it's all gone now. It's just all gone. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. And you'll talk to me. Mostly you'll talk to me, but they're really just waiting for me to come back so I can regale them with my cleverness, because I'm super full of cleverness. I mean, you're right, but that's it. I'm actually gonna end. Ripley. Yeah. Play the sweet credits. Meow. Avocado shakes. And Milos. And Miles. Lots of thanks. That's what that rhyme would have been.